Welcome back, everybody. The Chamorro sentiment, contra y peligro, means against all perils. It's a beautiful passage from Guam's national hymn and is also the name of the annual Guam National Guard exercise that kicks off this week to test our first responders. Now, Jenna Gamindi and Major Josephine Blas are two lovely ladies, and they are two of the hardest working people on Guam because they are heavily involved in this. So, ladies, hafa day. Thanks for joining me.
Hafa day. Thanks for having us.
Okay, so hopefully in maybe less than a minute, and we'll start with you, Jenna.
Sure.
Talk about the scope of this exercise. Who's involved?
So Contra y Peligro is really a multi-agency, full-scale exercise that's going to be happening island-wide between tomorrow and Wednesday. And the goal of this exercise is to train our federal response agencies as well as the government of Guam and our military partners so that they can train together to respond to a chemical, biological, or nuclear incident. So there are multiple incidents that are going to be happening around the island throughout tomorrow and Wednesday.
Now, we must emphasize these are all staged, so if anybody sees anything suspect or anything like that, keep in mind it is a training exercise.
Yes.
We haven't seen this in a few years. I mean, we had something like this with regional military, and Major, maybe you can jump in and everything, but we had that a few years ago where they were actually conducting, triage situations.
Absolutely. The military
ABC.
annually conducts various exercises to test the capability of the military. In this case, we're testing the capability of the entire island, working in concert together, to come to to make sure that we're ready, so we can come to a good result for all the agencies. Make sure we test not only the Guard's capability, the government of Guam, and the federal government, each of our capabilities, and then the capability of us to work together.
Now, Jenna, what are some of the situations and scenarios you guys will be running through? Because you guys over at Homeland Security and Civil Defense, you guys deal with natural disasters, so
right.
Massive power outages, utility outages. Hopefully, we haven't had any public chaos because you guys always do a good job of disseminating information. But things of that nature.
Oh, thank you for that. So for the exercise, it's not for natural-based or natural events. It's going to be more on the weapons of mass destruction side or the WMD, more for radiological and nuclear explosives or that kind of response. But our agency is a coordinating agency as a whole, so we would be the ones coordinating between government of Guam and our federal and military partners. But what the residents can expect out of this exercise, we're not privy to all of the details because we are actually playing in the exercise.
Sure.
But we do know that there's going to be a heavy military response with a helicopter down in Mauricio tomorrow morning. So that's something that the residents can expect. We also plan to have an active shooter scenario, and that's going to be at a location that's not disclosed on a government of Guam property. The only thing about that is we're not releasing all of that information because the people that are playing should respond as they would in normal situation.
Sure. The more realistic, the better the training.
Right. So really the hope for this is to let people know that they can expect a lot of heightened emergency response activity. They'll be seeing a lot of response vehicles out there, ambulances, the police vehicles, some sirens, maybe some loud explosions, to just not be alarmed and just to be aware that there's an exercise going on. And that safety is the most important thing here, and that all of these activities will be monitored to ensure the safety of everyone involved.
Yeah, and like I said, you guys always do a really good job of reminding people that it is an exercise. Please don't freak out or anything like that. You let us know, and we let the people know.
Right, and we also have a line that we're opening so that people can call in if they have any questions. And that's going to be the Office of Homeland Security and Civil Defense, and they can call in at 475-9600, and we'll be there to answer any of the questions that people have.
Okay, Major, it's your very nature as a uniformed professional and everything to have, world-class training, always be ready to go at a moment's notice.
And,
so how do you maintain that level of readiness?
Specifically for our 94th Civil Support Team, Weapons of Mass Destruction, this is one of their tests, their evaluations that they need to constantly go through and pass to ensure that they're always in a ready state. As you know, not only do we participate in exercises, but every time there's a suspected package or envelope or somewhere, our team is deployed to respond. So we always need to be ready. There was a lot of incidences over the last few days all around the world. And hopefully that'll never happen in Guam, but if it does, we, not only the Guam Guard, but all the agencies, federal and local government, we just want to be ready. And like Jenna said, there's going to be a lot of activity, and residents should not be alarmed, but if they're not sure what's going on, just give them a call. and they'll be able to decipher if it's a real world or an exercise event.
And I guess that is good training for, you know, us civilians too, because we can kind of get in the habit of, hey, if I see something that looks a little bit out of place or
Right.
even scary and everything like
Can
that, I know
report
who
it.
to call. You know, I can run through the procedure. I can get on the phone and talk to you guys, and you guys can either allay my concerns or can say, okay, let me give you guys and get in the habit of giving you guys the right information.
Right, and along those lines, we want to encourage everyone, you know, to let the community know, or those that are live around their community, maybe the elderly or those that don't listen into the news or don't check in with the internet, to let them know if that there's an exercise coming up tomorrow and the day after. That way, you know, we can help spread the word throughout the community, and that way we're all involved and kind of on the same page.
Now, again, without giving away too much, approximately how many personnel will be participating in this?
It's a multi-scale exercise. I mean,
This is big scale. Yeah.
big
It is,
scale.
it
We're
is.
talking about 20 or 30 agencies, local, federal, and military agencies that are going to be involved.
Very good.
So it's a big one.
Yeah.
And again, how do we define weapons of mass destruction? Because that is
Chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, anything to that nature is considered the CBRNE, and that's what the 94 CST responds to.
Yeah. What else should people know about maybe what's going on, and how long is the exercise going to last?
So it's going to be between a 24-hour and 36-hour period. It should last no later than Wednesday evening, but you can see some activity throughout the night. Actually, it shouldn't bother residents throughout the evening, but it's going to be happening throughout the evening as well for tomorrow night.
Okay. And what does it mean to, from a military perspective, Major, to participate in training like this and making sure that your skills are always at tip-top shape, and if called upon to respond at any given moment, you guys are ready to go and everybody knows, you know, everything by the book?
Right, we take exercises such as this and any other training that we do very seriously, because, you know, they say, like, when the balloon goes up, we have to be ready. So this is just another way that we get our CST and the Guard ready to respond to anytime we're called up.
Anything else you want to add, Joe?
Well, this is a good opportunity for our federal partners, military partners, and Gov Guam to kind of test the operational capabilities of all of them together, and kind of see some gaps or shortfalls, and then even see what went well for the future. And that way we can all work together.
Absolutely. I mean, when we do an after-action report in the end, we see what went well and what we can fix. So the next time it happens, or if a real-world event happens, we are totally ready.
All right. Well, we'd love to have you back and, you know, talk about, you know, how it went after
That'd be great.
after everything's over. Okay, so hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you
very
so
much.
much, Jason.
All right, and we will see you on the flip side